And welcome back to another awesome web design class with me, Ken Bessa. Now, if it's your first time hearing about me, I teach Elementor and WordPress on Skillshare and on my own website, pabzy.com. You might already know that I recently published a class on how to design an online course landing page. Now, for that class, the initial goal was to teach you how to design a fully working online course platform that has a fully working payment system, but I wasn't able to do that because as I was recording, I realized the class would be too long to record in one sitting. So we ended up doing the landing page alone, and I decided I would do a separate class where I would show you how to design the courses from scratch. Now in this class, I want us to finish what we started in that class. We'll be building a fully working online course platform with a fully working payment system and a fully working learning management system. And by the time we finish the class, you will have a fully working website ready for you to start selling your courses. In a nutshell, if you have online courses that you've already prepared or you're planning to prepare online courses, by the time we finish this class, you will be able to sell them through that website because it will be ready to accept courses and ready to accept payment from your students. But right now you might be wondering, who is Ken and why should I be learning from him? So I started out as a graphic designer about 8 years ago. I was using Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop to do my work. And then I came across Elementor about 5 years ago, and I've been using Elementor to build websites for myself and tens of clients since then. So for the last 5 years, I've been using Elementor and WordPress to build tens of websites. During that period, I've also been building Elementor templates and selling them on marketplaces like Creative Market. At the same time, I've also been teaching Elementor right here on Skillshare for the last 1.5 years, and I want to welcome you to join me as I share my experience in Elementor and WordPress. You don't have to take all the years that I've taken, the 5 years that I've taken to learn the things that I've learned. You can start learning them right now. And I know your goal is to put together a website and start using it immediately. And that's why I'm here. I want to show you how to build this website and start using it immediately. And now that you know a little bit about me and what to expect from this class, let's start learning how to sell our own online courses on our own online platform. So without wasting any time, let's meet in the class. I'll see you soon. Peace. And welcome to the lesson. So this is a brand new installation of WordPress. And the very first thing I want to do is install a WordPress theme. So I'll go to Appearance, Themes, and by default the active theme right now is 2022 because we're in the year 2022. Last year the active theme by default every time you installed WordPress was 2021, and the year before that it was 2020. So next year it'll be 2023. But my favorite theme is called Astra, and if you've been taking any of my Elementor classes, you already know that. It's just an awesome WordPress theme. It's one of the most popular themes in the entire universe. So I'll just click install. And there we have it. So now let's go ahead and activate it. And just in case you're wondering why Astra is such an awesome theme, you can just go ahead and Google something like Astra theme review, or just visit their official website and read more about them. And now that Astra is installed and activated, we're ready to move on to the next step, which is installing the LMS, the Learning Management System. So I'll see you in the next lesson. And welcome back. It's time now to install our Learning Management System plugin, or LMS plugin. So let's go inside plugins, add new. And here we are. This is a WordPress plugin directory. We can get rid of this. And as I mentioned, there are several LMS plugins in the WordPress plugin directory, but the one we're interested in is called Tutor LMS. So I'll go ahead and type Tutor LMS. and it should be the very first result here by Themium. So this is the plugin that we will use to create the courses. So I'll install now. All right, so now let's go ahead and activate it, and we'll be redirected to a setup wizard because this is the very first time we're installing it on the website. This is the wizard. So all we need to do is click Let's Start. So let's go ahead. We're not creating a marketplace, or I'm not creating a marketplace. Maybe you are. So I will be the only one creating and selling courses on my website. So I'll choose individual, then click next. You can go ahead and read through these different settings here, but the one I'm interested in is the student profile. Allow users to have a student profile to showcase awards and completed courses. Now for this, you only need this if you are allowing other users to create and sell courses on your marketplace. Their profiles will have their details, and students can distinguish between the different instructors creating courses on your website. So, and you will get to see all that in detail a little bit later as we build our courses. So let's click next. Here, this is the course settings area, and I don't need this. I will be the only one creating courses, so I think I'll just switch that off. I want to allow a Q&A forum on each course. That's a very good way to enable engagement within a course. And I want to have rows of 3 columns on the shop page where I'll be displaying all my courses. I want to have 3 columns and several rows. And the maximum number of courses I will be displaying at any given time within the shop is 12. Let's click next. This is the payment settings area. This is if you are running a marketplace. Again, remember, I will be creating and selling the courses alone. I won't have a marketplace, so this doesn't apply to me. Like payment withdrawal method, there will be no users expecting to withdraw payments from my website, so this doesn't apply. Commission rate, I will not need to get any commission from any instructor or user because I will have no people creating courses on the website. So these settings don't apply to me. And I don't want to allow buyers to buy and consume content without logging in. They must be logged in. So finish setup. And that's a high five. We are almost done with our LMS setup. But before we leave, there's a very important notice here that you need to read. As membership is turned off, students and instructors will not be able to sign up. Press enable or go to settings, general, membership, and enable anyone can register. But because we're already here and we have the option to press enable, let's just go ahead and click enable. And there we go. So now the basic settings of our LMS are done. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at the detailed settings of the LMS to make sure we have everything correct. So we'll go inside this tab, and this is where we'll continue from in the next lesson. So I'll see you shortly. Time now to look at the different settings that Tutor LMS has to offer and see the best way we can configure our LMS to present our courses. So we're right now inside the general tab. As you can see, the first option here is the dashboard page, and when we installed Tutor LMS, it generated a few pages. One of the pages was the dashboard, so we automatically have a dashboard page, and we will see how it looks as we go along. But it did not generate a terms and conditions page. That's up to us to create. So we'll create a terms and conditions page, and before we go on to the rest of the settings here, let's go inside pages. So I will right click, open link in new tab so we can leave this page intact, and I'll switch to that new tab. These are the pages that we have currently. When we installed Tutor LMS, it generated dashboard, instructor registration and student registration. These two pages come with every installation of WordPress by default, a sample page and a privacy policy draft. So I'll select these two bulk actions, move to trash, and apply that. So we're left only with the pages we will actually use right now. And now that we're here, let's create the terms and conditions page. So I'll go to add new. And here we are. So let's give it a name. Conditions. Terms and conditions. And don't worry about all these settings here. We will have a look at them in detail as we build the landing page and the home page for the platform. So for now, the only thing we're interested in is just publishing a page called terms and conditions. So I'll publish that, publish. And now the page is ready. So I'll go back to the tab where we had these settings and I will refresh this page. I will hit Ctrl R to reload the page. And then right here under terms and conditions, if I click that, now we'll see that terms and conditions is one of the pages listed here. And these are the other three. So I'll select terms and conditions and I can hit save changes. There we go. So let's move on. Enable marketplace. Now, if you forgot to select marketplace and you wanted to make your website a marketplace, you chose individual. This is a point where you can switch from individual to a marketplace and allow people to create and sell courses. All right, this is the pagination. So I just leave these at the default because that's good enough for me. Allow instructors to publish courses. Of course not, because I'll be selling my own courses. No one else will be selling courses on my platform. And enable become an instructor button. Again, that's if yours is a marketplace. Mine is not, so I'll leave those like that. Next, let's go inside course. Now, these are the settings that pertain to specifically how the course will behave, how it will be displayed, and such stuff. So beginning with the first step here, course visibility. Students must be logged in to view course. Not necessarily, because we want students to be able to have a look at the overview of the course, and we'll see that overview. Every single course has a course detail page. A course detail page that has a breakdown of the overview of what the course is all about. So it talks about what will you learn, what are the lessons, who is the class for, and such details. I think it's good for a potential student to see those details before they're even logged in. Now for this, I will enable it because I want students to first enroll in a course before they're able to look at the content. The content being the lessons, watching the lessons. So they need to enroll in a class in order to be able to consume the content of that class or that course. Then content summary. Yes, of course, we want to have a short summary of what the course is all about in the course details page. So I will leave this enabled. I want to auto direct students to the course that they've just enrolled in. Immediately they enroll, they need to be redirected to the course and start watching the lesson. So enable that. Spotlight mode, of course, I want to enable spotlight mode, and that basically means inside the website, when the student enrolls in a course and they start watching the lessons, we'll get rid of the header and footer, the navigation bar and the footer, so they're just within the class. And I'll show you how that looks. We'll toggle this on and off when we create a course, and I will show you how it looks when this is off and when it's on. So don't worry about that. Auto course complete on all, yes. So basically these are just very intuitive settings. You can just read through and you will see how easy they are to understand. So in some of these parts, I'll just speed through because they're easy for you to understand. But when I see something important, I will talk about it. Let's move on to the lesson area. WP editor for lesson. I don't want to enable this. By now, we're already used to the editor that we're using, so we don't need to enable the classic editor. That's the old WordPress editor. Automatically load next content when a student has finished the current content. Of course, that makes sense. I want to enable lesson commenting because it's important for me to know what students think about the class or if they have questions. All right, so this is about the quiz. Auto submit the quiz when time expires, but you can choose to auto abandon that question. If the time expires and they've not answered, you can just abandon that question and not give them any grade. All right, I will leave those at their default settings. Show quiz previous button, yes. Here, highest grade is okay. Then the preferred video source, we'll be using YouTube. So we'll be uploading our lessons to YouTube, and then we'll be getting the links from there and then displaying the classes right here on our website. So that's okay. That's that. So that's the end of this tab, course tab. So save changes. Let's go inside monetization. And guys, remember, as I've said, as you can see, this is very intuitive and easy to understand. That's why I'm just skimming through. And as we proceed to create courses, we'll be coming back and forth in these settings so we can understand how they're affecting the courses. So don't worry. So now we're inside the monetization tab. So the first option here is to select an e-commerce engine to accept payments on our website. And we'll be using WooCommerce. But now, because we don't have any e-commerce engine installed, we don't have an e-commerce engine to select. So we'll be installing WooCommerce in the next lesson. So don't worry about that. So let's skip that. Enable revenue sharing. That's if you have users creating courses on your marketplace. So this is not a marketplace. That should remain off. Show statements per page. I'll just leave that at that. Deduct fees. So these are all to do with marketplace business. So because I'm not allowing people to sell courses on my website, I do not need to even touch these settings here. Withdraw. Same case applies to that. So we're done with this page for now, but we'll install WooCommerce and come back here to enable it. Let's go inside design. Remember this selection we made, 3 columns and many rows. So I'll leave that at that. Course filter, I want to enable course filter. And these are the filters. So I'll select keyword search, category, not tab. I don't want to use the tags. Difficulty level and price type. And we'll see how these look when we create a course again. So don't worry about what they mean for now. Courses per page. Yes, anytime we go to our courses page, we need to see at most 12 courses. If we have more, then we will start going to the next page. For the instructor, we don't need to change anything there. Instructor public profile layout. Well, I am the only instructor, so I can select whichever layout I want students to see when they look at my profile as the instructor. So I'll just choose modern. You can choose any of these two. For the student public profile, I can choose modern as well. I'll just leave these the way they are. You can change the colors here. Let me just leave them the way they are, and then we can change them later if we need to. Then video player, use tutor player for YouTube. We can select that because we've chosen YouTube as our video source. Then I'll go ahead and save changes, and that's the end of that tab. Finally, let's go inside advanced. I don't necessarily need to enable the Gutenberg editor for the course creation. I'll just use the default editor. This option allows you to switch off your courses and make them invisible to everybody. If for some reason you want to hide them from everybody for some time, you can go ahead and do that. And the third option here is to select our course archive page. In other words, our shop page, where there's a display of all the courses we have in our library. So because we don't have any course archive page, we need to create one. So while we're still here, I'll switch back to the other tab where we had created our terms and conditions. I'll click that to exit inside the pages and add new. And here, let's say my courses. Now I'll just go ahead and publish that. Now let's go back to the tab where we have this area, and I'll hit Ctrl R to reload the page. All right, so now in this drop down menu, we can select my courses, and this is the page that will display our courses. Every time we create a new course, it will be visible on this page, and people can click the course on that page to go to the details of that course. Next, instructor registration page by default is already chosen. It's one of the pages that was generated when we installed the plugin. Student registration page, the same. The lesson permalink is lesson. You saw this in the wizard. YouTube API key. We'll get to a point where you'll see how we will use this API key to get specific data from YouTube automatically to our courses rather than doing it manually. I'll show you how this works. Profile completion. Yeah, we can keep prompting students and users to complete their profile. So if you read this, you will understand what that means, because probably you've seen that in a website where you created an account, and every time you logged in, you were prompted to go and finish filling up your profile. All right, so enable Tutor login. This will replace the default WordPress login wizard. The Tutor LMS login form is more beautiful than the default WordPress login form. So enabling this will allow us to display the Tutor LMS login form rather than the default WordPress login form. The rest, I'll just leave them like that. They're very obvious. Save changes. And now that marks the end of the settings and configurations for now. With these settings, we're now ready to get started building our very first course. So if you're as excited as I am, I'll see you in the next lesson where you will build your first course. See you soon. And welcome back to another lesson. So now, remember we went to this monetization tab and we needed to select an e-commerce engine to accept payments. And we say we would install WooCommerce. So now it's the time to do that. So let's go inside plugins, add new. And we're back in the WordPress plugin directory again. So I'll just go in here and type WooCommerce or just Woo. And it'll be the first result here by automatic. So I'll install now. And here we go. So let's click activate. And just like Tutor LMS, WooCommerce has a setup wizard. So we'll be redirected to that setup wizard. All right, so here we are. Let me just zoom out a little bit so we can see more content. So now the first step here is the store details. So I'll just input my address, then just select my country, which is Kenya. I'm in Nairobi County. Let's continue. Yeah, you can count me in. We'll be selling education and learning. So click continue, select education and learning and click continue. We'll not be selling physical products. I'll just select downloads and click continue. How many products will I be selling? Probably 11 to 100 courses. Am I selling anywhere else? I'll just select no. I'm not setting up a store for a client, so I'll click continue. Do not add these recommended business features. If I expand this, these are plugins recommended by the developers of WooCommerce, but I don't need them because there are many other plugins that can do what these do. So I don't necessarily need to have them. So I'll uncheck that and click continue. And here we can select a theme for our storefront. And I'll just choose to continue with my active theme, which is Astra. And with that done, as you can see, we have a few more steps to complete before we are set to go. But not all these steps are a must or mandatory at this point. So we can go directly to set up payment. So I'll click step number 3. So we can choose a payment provider, and our payment provider of choice for me is PayPal. So I'll just select PayPal, get started. All right, that's awesome. Configure our PayPal payments account. So let's go ahead and click get started. And to complete this, you need to have a PayPal account. So I suggest you open up a PayPal account if you don't have one. So we're redirected straight to the payments tab within WooCommerce. And this is where we get the chance to activate PayPal because we've already installed the payment gateways. So I'll click activate PayPal. And it'll open up this wizard where we will connect to our PayPal account. So we need to sign in to PayPal. All right, so now we need to log into our PayPal account. So I'll just log in with my email. So I'll input my login credentials and click login. So now this is the part you agree to connect. So agree and connect. And now thanks for signing up. So you now have an account and you've successfully integrated PayPal with WooCommerce developers. So go back to WooCommerce developers. By clicking that, we'll be taken back to this page and it will just reload automatically like that. And now we're almost set. What was happening is that WooCommerce was grabbing these details from PayPal. This is the live client ID, the merchant ID, the live secret key, and the email address of the owner of that PayPal account. That's me. And now we need to enable the PayPal gateway, and you can hover over these small question mark icons here to read more about what each of these sections mean. So scrolling downwards, let's see what we need to change here. For now, I'll just save the changes the way they are. If we need to change anything later, we'll come back. And there we go. So now our settings have been saved, as you can see here. And now switching back to the Tutor LMS settings, I'll hover over Tutor LMS and go inside settings. go to monetization. And let's select WooCommerce. Then save changes. Now our LMS is ready to accept payments from potential students and allow the students to enroll in a class. So with all that set up, we're now ready to build our very first online course. So let's do that starting from the next lesson. I'll see you shortly. And welcome back. So now it's time to create our first course. So let's go inside. While we're still under Tutor LMS, let's go to courses, click that. And now we have no data available in this section because we've not created any course yet. This is where we'll have a list of all the courses we'll have created. So let's go ahead and click add new. And creating a course is just like creating any other WordPress post. So let's give the course a name. Elementor Guide for Beginners. All right, that's a good name. Next thing we want to do is give the course a description, and we'll see how the course looks with all these different types of content and where each type of content goes. So including the description. So that's an example of a description we can add there. Then we have an excerpt. Excerpts are optional, handcrafted summaries of your content that can be used in your theme. But excerpts are very important, especially for SEO, search engine optimization. And just in case you want to learn more about SEO and how to optimize all the content you create for your website and make it more visible to search engines and potential visitors, I published a very detailed class on WordPress SEO, and you can check it out in my profile. You will learn a lot about how to optimize your website, because a website is not useful if it's not discoverable. And a website is not discoverable if it's not optimized for search engines. So check out that course and you will enjoy it. It's right here on Skillshare. Check it out. So let's add a short excerpt. So that's an example of an excerpt. Before we scroll downwards, we need to place this course in a category. We could have courses on Elementor, we could have courses on WordPress, we could have courses on Figma. So we could have different categories and place different courses within those categories. So this is an Elementor course. So let's add new category, Elementor courses, and let's hit enter. So now when we hit enter, it's automatically checked. You can uncheck it if it's not in that category. And now scrolling downwards, we have tags here. You can add Elementor, Elementor tutorials, courses, enter. So we've added 3 tags, and as a reminder, you can learn more about why tags are important for your SEO in that class that I just mentioned. Now scrolling downwards, let's go inside the course settings. Maximum number of students, if we leave it at 0, it means there's no limit to how many students can enroll. But if your class is only accepting maybe 50 students, then you can input that number there. The level, this is a beginner class, so we can set that. Make this course public, no enrollment required. That's if you want to make this course free for everyone, you can check that. Next, enable Q&A section for your course. Yes, I like that. I want students to be able to ask questions and get answers. And now we get to the course type. Is it a paid course or a free course? We're gonna make it a paid course, but not right now. So we'll leave this because we will need to do something inside WooCommerce in order to be able to use this option. That is, for example, if I select paid, if we click this drop down menu to select, we need to select a product that represents this course, because when a student buys the course to enroll in it, they are essentially buying a WooCommerce product. So we need to create a product that is associated with this course. So we'll see how to do that. So with that said, we'll put a pause on that. And now here we have a course builder, which we will come back to shortly. But first of all, let's go here. What will I learn? Features. I'll hit enter to move to the next line. That's important. WordPress page. These are just examples, so I'll leave that at 2. The target audience, Elementor beginners and WordPress beginners. Materials included. Maybe in this course I have provided the students with images, so I'll write images in there. Maybe I've provided them with a template, so templates. Are there any prerequisites needed? So needed. And then course intro video. That's the video that will show up in the course details page as an overview of the course. So let's select the video source, and that's YouTube. And here we will paste the link. So we'll go grab the link from YouTube and bring it here. But before we do that, I want to publish the class or the course as it is. And now let's preview the changes. Click preview changes. And this is how it looks. Don't worry about this area up here. We haven't started actually working on the layout of the entire website. We're just creating a course for now. So here's how the course looks. This is where the intro video is supposed to be. So we'll grab that link, paste it in there in the back end, and the video will show up here. But now notice how we have this progress bar. We selected beginner level. Going back in here, we selected beginner level. Number of students enrolled is 0 because of course no student is enrolled yet. The course is by me, the admin. Materials included, remember we said images and templates. Requirements, we said no prerequisites needed. These are the tags we added: courses, Elementor, Elementor tutorials. And the audience we selected was Elementor beginners and WordPress beginners. All those details are right here. So going back to this left side, about course, in this class I will show you how to build amazing landing pages. That is this larger area here. And going back in here, what will you learn? The key things that the student will learn: Elementor tools and features, and how to create a WordPress page. And the reason we're seeing them in bullets like that is because we separated them right here by hitting enter. So if we hit enter here again and say how to migrate a website to a new domain and update that. If we preview the changes again, click preview, the page will reload. Going downwards, now we have 4 bullet points. So those are, in a nutshell, the key things that the students will learn. And also notice we have this Q&A section. Students can come and ask questions, and of course they will get an answer. Announcements, I as the admin can make an announcement specifically for this class, and then it will show up here. So going back in here, as you can see, we have announcements. We have Q&As, so all the questions and answers that have come through will show up here. So let me just click that so you can have a quick look at it. And that's how it looks. The list of all the questions and answers will be here. Announcements, let's click announcements, and you can add a new announcement. And Tutor LMS is such a powerful LMS, and the fact that it's free makes it even better. So going back inside our course, let me click courses. As you can see now in our list, we have only one course. If I click the name, we'll be taken to the editor. We're back in here. So let's go to the front end. And basically that's how to create the metadata for our course. The metadata is another way to say the different types of content that describe the course. So the materials included, requirements, the course info about what people will learn, and all that. But now I'm sure you're wondering, what about the videos? What about the lessons, Ken? How do we add the lessons? And where is the enroll button? Why can't we see an enroll button? Don't worry about that. We'll be doing that very shortly. But before we get to that point, I want us to go back in here and work on making this product a paid product. In the next lesson, we'll create a WooCommerce product that will be linked to this course, and that will allow us to be able to sell the course. So without wasting any time, let's move on to the next lesson. I'll see you shortly. And welcome back. So it's time now to monetize our course. So in order to do that, I don't want to close this page or this tab. So I want to open up a new tab, this tab, and go inside the dashboard because we want to create a WooCommerce product, and we'll be getting some of these details from this page. So going back to that tab, let's load the dashboard. All right, so we're inside the dashboard. Let's go under WooCommerce. We have products, and let's say add new. So here we are, and as you can see, it looks almost identical to the course editor right here. And that's why we left this open, so we can get these details. So I'll copy that. It makes sense to use the same details for the product, the WooCommerce product, as the details for the course. So the name of the course, let's make it the name of the product. So I'll paste that in there. For the description, let's also pick this description. So I'll put that in there. Scrolling downwards, before we go back there, I want to come here to the short description. Let me pick the excerpt. But remember, you're free to add anything you want, as many details as you want to appeal to your potential students. So now that's the short description, and that's the end here. So going back here to the product data, let's say this is a simple product. It's a virtual product, not a physical product. It's not downloadable. It's a course that the student consumes on your website, and it's for Tutor LMS. That's okay. So what's the price, the regular price? Let's say your course is usually $300, but now the currency here is in Kenya shillings because that's where I am. So let's assume these are dollars. And now maybe I want to sell the course at $10. And then for the inventory, we don't have a physical product, so we don't need to mess with that. Linked products, these are related products that you might want to upsell, but that's not vital for now. That's something you can look into a little bit later. So for now, this section is okay. Let's create a category for the WooCommerce products. And of course, this is an Elementor course. So let's call it Elementor. Create a category called Elementor or Elementor courses. We can create another category called WordPress. And we can check or uncheck it if you want. So I'll just leave it unchecked. And then publish that. So now with that published, we can go back to this page where we're editing our course. Let's refresh it. Control R. And now it's refreshed. Let's scroll downwards to the add product section. And when we click this drop down menu, now you will notice we have Elementor Guide for Beginners. Now that's the WooCommerce product. So let's click update and let's preview changes. Let's see what we have in the front end. So nothing has changed, and that's basically because we don't have any course content for the students to consume, which brings us to the next vital part that we need to work on, which is the course content. And the course content includes videos, quizzes, and all that. So basically we're creating lessons. So let's see how to create the lessons by grabbing links from YouTube and bringing them into our WordPress website. Let's do that in the next lesson. See you shortly. And welcome back. So now it's time to create the video content of our course. So the first video we want to bring into the course is the intro video. So what we need to do is go inside YouTube, and I have a channel here that I haven't really been using lately. And in order to organize our videos inside YouTube, we can create a playlist, and we'll give that playlist the name of our course. So let's go inside playlists. I'll say new playlist, and I'll give it a name, and I want to give it the name of our course. So Elementor Guide for Beginners. Copy that, go back inside YouTube, place it in there, and let's make this an unlisted playlist. That's very important. When a video is unlisted, it means people cannot search for it by its name, this name, and find it on YouTube. It won't be listed in any search results. But if they have the link, they can watch the video. And of course, public is the opposite of unlisted. When a video or playlist is public, it means it will show up in search results that are related to what the video is all about. And so anyone can go to YouTube and search for the video, and if it shows up in the search results, they can click play and watch it. And when it's private, it means only people that you've authorized can watch it. So if someone has a link to your private video, they will not be able to watch it unless you invite them. And so the reason why we choose to set our playlists and video lessons as unlisted on YouTube is because if, for example, a student visits the course on the website, they can see the name of the lesson, but they do not have access to the link on YouTube. So they cannot copy the YouTube link to the video and share it with someone else to watch it for free. And if they look down here at this URL that shows up when you hover over any link, they only see the WordPress link, not the YouTube link. So they can watch the videos here, but because they don't have access to the YouTube link itself, they cannot distribute it to other students who want to use the link and watch the videos for free. I hope you understand that, but you can also watch YouTube or Google what that really means. So let's set it as unlisted and create it. So now here is our playlist. So if I say edit the playlist, as you can see, it doesn't have any video. So I'll go inside here and say create, upload video. And I will now need to go and grab our intro video. So let's say this is the intro video. Those are videos from some old courses I created. So what's a CMS? Scrolling downwards. If we come to this section, playlists, we have a drop down menu, and one of the items is the playlist we just created. So Elementor guide for beginners, done. And then no, it's not made for kids, but if it's made for kids, your course is made for kids, say yes, it's made for kids. It's still uploading, so let's give it a moment, or I'll fast forward this section and we'll continue after it's finished processing. And we're back. So the video has finished uploading. Right now it's at 95% processing. All right, so now it's doing the checks to check if the video is okay and there are no copyright claims. If I click next, we'll move to this part. We don't need to add any end screen or cards. So moving to the next part. So this is the part we're at right now. The YouTube algorithm is checking whether the video contains any copyrighted material. So it says it'll take about 10 minutes. So let's fast forward this part again. Or I don't think I'll wait for it to check. So I'll just move on to the next step, where now we'll be setting the visibility settings. And just like we did with the playlist, this video should be unlisted, and we can go ahead and save it. So now that we've saved it, if we go inside our playlists, as you can see, it's already showing up as the thumbnail of our playlist. That's the video number 1 is showing up as the thumbnail of our playlist. If I open the playlist, now we have one video. So going back inside this area, I want to go inside content. And now we have that video listed here under content as well. And I want to click this menu here and get shareable link. So I'll grab that link. I've copied it. Now going back inside WordPress, inside our course, let's scroll all the way to the bottom, and where we have the course intro video, let's paste it in there. So right click, paste in there. Then let's update that. Preview changes. And there we go. So now our intro video is ready. When a potential student comes here to this page to look at what to expect from the course, they can watch the video and learn more about the course. Still loading, so yeah. So they can just click play. Maybe it's an overview of what the student should expect in this class. So that's the gist of what we'll be doing to create the lessons of the course. But there are a few more things I'd like to show you while we're working with YouTube to create the lessons. So in the coming lessons, let's start working on the content, which is essentially similar to what we just done here. And when we add the course content, that's when Tutor LMS and WooCommerce will realize now we have a course that we can sell, and we will have a button right here. The button will just show up. So let's see how to create the rest of the content starting from the next lesson. I'll see you shortly. And welcome back. So now it's time to create the lessons for our course. So let's scroll downwards. This place is blank for now, but not for long. So jumping inside YouTube, let me go inside here, inside our playlist. Where's our playlist? So let me click playlists and then open our playlist right here. All right, so right now we have the intro video. I want to upload a few more videos for this lesson. So I'll go to select files, and then I'll select maybe 3 videos just to save time. I don't want us to take too much time uploading them. And I'll fast forward this part because we don't want to wait for the videos to upload. And now, as you can see, the videos have finished uploading, but they're still processing and checking. So right now they are drafts. So I'll hit this edit icon right here to start editing the first video. So I'll edit the name a bit, remove that too. I'll add a hyphen right here. And then in the playlist drop down menu, select the name of the course, the playlist we created, Elementor Guide for Beginners. And of course it's not for kids. And while it's actually finished checking and there are no issues found, so next, no issues found, next, unlisted, save. And now we can grab this shareable link. So I'll click that copy video link icon. And now we've copied the link to the clipboard. And now going back inside our dashboard, in our course editor, let's go downwards and let's look for add new topic. If your course has several topics and subtopics, here's how to do it. So click that. Topic 1. Let's give it a summary, for example, the basics, for example. So let's add that topic. And under that topic, this new topic, we can add a lesson. So let me click lesson. And now we have a draft lesson. So let's give it a name. So the name of this lesson here is the world's most popular CMS. So I'll copy that because essentially the name of this lesson is the name of that video, because each video we're adding is a lesson. So now that we've added that, we don't need to have a text description of it. As you can see, the video source here is YouTube. So now we can paste the URL we copied from it. Let me just copy it once again. So copy that and paste it in here. And then let's look at the duration. It's 3 minutes 27 seconds. So 3 minutes 27 seconds. And if you have any attachments, maybe there's an image that you want students to download as they watch this particular lesson, you can upload that attachment here. I won't do that, so let's update lesson. And now we have the first lesson. And you can collapse this topic and expand it. Okay, now let's add another lesson. So click lesson. And now we're ready to add a new lesson. So let's go back to our playlist. So I'll close that down. We've finished that. Let's edit this video. Checks were completed and there were no issues found. Under playlists, let's select the name of our playlist. Done. Under the name, let me remove that number there. This is not meant for kids. Click next, 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 unlisted, save. Let me first copy the name of the lesson. But of course, if you know the name of the lessons, you don't need to copy them from there. You can just type them. So I'll paste that in there. Go back in here, pick that link, put it in there. Duration is 2 minutes 31 seconds. So 2 minutes 31 seconds. Let me just grab some attachments, for example, let's just pick that image, then upload media. Now we have that as one of the attachments. I'll update lesson. And let me go ahead and say update. And now we can preview the changes and see what our course looks like. Awesome. So the first thing you will notice here is that we have this start learning button. It wasn't there, now it's there. So scrolling downwards, as you can see under the course content, we now have topic 1 and the lessons associated with it. So we can collapse that topic and expand it. Now going back in here, let's scroll downwards. We can add a new topic. Topic 2. Intermediate. Add topic. And we can repeat the same. So lesson. Let me go back in here, close that. This is the third video we had uploaded. I'll edit it. So let's remove that. Then meant. Put it in the playlist. No, it's not meant for kids. Next, 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 unlisted. Save that. Now let me copy the name. Let's put it in there. Copy the link. The time is 4 minutes 58 seconds. Paste that in there. 4 minutes 58 seconds. Update that. And now we have two topics, topic 1 and topic 2. So now let's go ahead and update the course and preview the changes. Let's preview the changes. It'll reload the page. Scrolling downwards. Now we have topic 1 and topic 2. And we can expand them both. And now going inside to start learning, let's click start learning. And now we're inside our class or course and we can start watching. Now, if we collapse that, we can only see the topics. Expanding it, we see the subtopics. And now if we go to lesson number 2, exercise files, you'll notice we have this download. And if you click it, it automatically starts downloading the files provided in that particular lesson. So that's how to create the lessons and topics and subtopics. If we go back in here and go to settings, let's go inside course. Remember I mentioned the spotlight mode. Spotlight mode gets rid of the header and the footer to enable spotlight. That is full screen. So if we disable that and save changes and go back to the front end, if I refresh this, watch what happens. Now we have the header and the footer is right here. So I think for me, it's a little distracting when a student is inside the class or the course, taking the course. They should be able to just concentrate on the lessons. And if they want to go back to the main parts of the website, leave the course, they can just click this. So going back in here and enabling spotlight mode again, save changes. We've saved the changes. Going back in here and refreshing the page. Now we have a distraction-free environment for the student to learn. And if they want to go back, they can always click this button. And now they'll go back to the main parts of the website. If we go back in here, so if they want to view the video from edge to edge, they can always collapse this side menu by clicking that button. It's very intuitive. Just like that. So let me close that down and let's go back to the course. And basically that's how to create the topics, subtopics, and the lessons. You might be wondering, if you have, for example, 17 videos or 35 videos, will you be manually inputting these durations of the video? Will you be manually doing that? That's where the YouTube API comes in. With the YouTube API, we can connect our WordPress website with our YouTube channel, and our WordPress website will be able to grab the durations automatically from our YouTube channel. So that's what I want to show you how to do in the next lesson as we continue to build our course. If I close this down and go inside playlists, because we've already finished setting up those videos, if we open the playlist, we will find all of them in the playlist like that. So the playlist is growing gradually. So I suggest you grow your playlist, create all your lessons, and grab the links and bring them inside Tutor LMS. So now in the next lesson, let's see how to plug in our WordPress website to YouTube using the YouTube API key. I'll see you shortly. And welcome back. So in the previous lesson, we added these video lessons by grabbing links from YouTube. And one thing you noticed is that we had to manually keep going back to YouTube to look at the time or duration and then go back and manually feed that into the lesson. But there's an easier way to do that where we can grab those durations automatically by using the YouTube API. So what we need to do is go to Google and look for Google Cloud Console. So Google Cloud Console. And if you have a Google account, you have access to the Google Cloud Console. I'll click Google Cloud Console. You can also just go directly to this URL. And if it's your very first time visiting the Google Cloud Console, this is what you will see. And what we want to do is create a project right here for which we will be able to now create an API key. So by clicking this, we'll be taken to, automatically we'll be taken to the All Projects tab here. And of course, on the top right side here, we have New Project. So click New Project. We'll be taken to the place where we can create more projects. So let's give it a name. My YouTube API key. So there we go. And let's leave the organization as the default. So I'll go ahead and click create. And now we have a project. So I'll select the project. And now that I've selected the project, notice that right here, it reads the name of my project. That's to mean this is the project that is now selected actively here. So going to this side menu here, click APIs and Services. The next thing we need to do is go to the Credentials tab. And right here is where we'll create our YouTube API keys. But before we do that, let's go inside our library and scroll downwards. Let's scroll downwards and let's look for YouTube Data API v3. Click Enable. I'll click Enable once again. I don't know if that's a bug or something. And now we'll be taken back to this area. Now we can go inside Credentials. Let's click Create Credentials, API key. And now this is our API key. Don't worry about this warning. This only applies to you probably if you have people under you, maybe a team. You can set restrictions on who has authority to use this API key. You can restrict that, but because it's only you who is using it right now, you don't need to worry about that. So let's grab that. So by clicking that, we've copied it to the clipboard, or if we close that, we can click Show Key and we'll be able to grab it once again. So now going back inside our WordPress website, let's go inside settings. And you will remember that we went inside the advanced tab, and one of the fields here was YouTube API key. So let's insert it here. So I'll paste it in there and then save changes. Now that the changes are saved, let's go back inside our courses, and I'll open up this course so we can test it out. Let's scroll downwards to the lessons. Here are our topics. So I'll expand topic 2 and let's add a lesson. So I'll click lesson, and now let's go back inside YouTube and grab a video. So let's go to content. So I'll just grab one of the videos we downloaded, one of the lessons we already used, because we just want to test the API. So I'll grab this, get shareable link, and then going back in here, first of all, let's just give it a name, test lesson. And then when I paste the link here, notice automatically the time has changed right here. So that tells us that the API is actually working. So we don't have to manually do that. Imagine if you had 35 lessons in one course. You wouldn't want to do that manually. So update that lesson. And there we go. So update the course. Let's review the changes. Scroll downwards. Topic 2. And there is our test lesson. And that's how to integrate the YouTube API key. So in the next lesson, let's go ahead and create the rest of the courses to make up our course library. And then after that, we'll be working on our course archive. In other words, the shop page. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Peace. And welcome back. So now we've already created our first sample course. We created this just as an example. Now what I want to do is create the actual courses that will go to my course library. Remember, we created a page called My Courses. Let me click that. And we set this to be the course archive. So in other words, it's the shop that will display all our courses. If we had several courses already created, they would be listed here in 3 columns. You remember we said in our settings that we want to have 3 columns of courses, but several rows. So what I want to do is create the rest of the courses that I want to have in my library. And another thing I'd like to remind you of is, remember we accepted to have filters on our course archive. So in case you forgot, I'll go back in here. Let's go inside settings under Tutor LMS. Now let's go to design. Here we are, course filter. We set it to on, and that's why we have these filters here. If we had several courses, the user would be able to filter the courses according to these different ways to filter them. So for example, remember this course was set as a beginner level course. So if we select intermediate, it will not show up. If we check beginner level, it will be one of the courses shown here. And we'll see all that once I have a couple of courses here to play around with. And another thing I'd like to bring to your attention is that right now, this area doesn't look that appealing, but I mentioned that what we were doing was creating the course first to understand the process of creating a course. We'll get to the point where we'll be creating the rest of the website, and that's when we will create a nice header or navigation area. We'll create a nice footer, and we'll create the rest of the pages that will make up our website. So don't worry about that. So now I'll jump back inside our dashboard and I'll go to courses and I'll say add new, and I'll repeat the process we went through to create the rest of the courses. So I'll fast forward this part because you already know how to create the course. And just in case you forgot some of the steps involved in creating the course, I suggest you revisit the previous lessons where we created our sample course and do a refresher. So I'll just go ahead and get started, and I'll see you once I have all my courses created. And welcome back. So as you can see right now, I have 3 courses. I've finished creating these 2. The very first course we created does not have an image. Why? Well, we forgot to add a featured image. Each product should have a featured image. So to set it, let's go back inside our dashboard. So we'll go inside the dashboard and I'll go to courses. And this is a course we need to set a featured image for. And you can tell just by this part. These 2 already have a thumbnail. So if I click it, it'll open up the editor. And the only thing we need to do is scroll downwards. On the right sidebar, we have the section for set featured image. So click that. And I'll just use this as a featured image. Let me get rid of this. So I'll delete permanently. And now I want to use this as the featured image. So select that, make sure there is that tick right there, and then set featured image. And now we have a nice featured image. Let me update that. All right, so now if we go to the front end, to our My Courses page, let me just click it or reload the page. And now the featured image should appear here. Let's give it a second. And there we have it. So now that we have our 3 courses displayed inside our course archive or our My Courses page, in the next lesson, let's talk about this page. I'll see you shortly. And welcome back. So right now we have a course library or a course archive, and we can start discussing about what we have here. So as you can see up here, we can search for a course by name. So if we know the name of a course we already want to enroll in, we can just type it. Or if we have a keyword. So for example, let's say WordPress. If we press enter, the result will contain any course that contains the word WordPress. The other 2 do not contain the word WordPress. And remember, if we could go back in here inside the settings, Tutor LMS settings, if we go inside design, one of the filters we used was keyword search. So that's why we've used the keyword WordPress. So if we're looking for a course that contains the word responsive, we just need to use that keyword, responsive, and it'll bring this course because it has that keyword, difficulty level, price type, and category. And you can see all those filters right here. So if, for example, we say we want to look at courses that are paid, we don't want to see free courses, we just need to select that and say paid, and then remove this filter, responsive filter, because it's applying both filters. So now the only filter that we're applying now is the price. And remember, we set a price for this first example course. So if we could go back in here and look at the courses, go to products under WooCommerce. Remember when we were creating the sample course, we created a product for it using WooCommerce and connected the 2. So we gave it the price of 10 shillings. So if we go back inside courses, inside this, as you can see the price here, this is free, but this is $10, and I've opened it up. So if we go down here, remember we chose paid, and then we selected Elementor Guide for Beginners, which is this course. So the other two are free. So if we uncheck that, it'll bring up all the courses, because now that means we don't have any filter applied. But if we apply the free filter, it'll only bring the other two that are free. All right, so while we were creating this course, we gave it a beginner difficulty level. If we change it to maybe expert, and that's the Elementor Guide for Beginners, and update that, and go back to this page and reload it. Now, if we select expert, it'll bring this course, Elementor Guide for Beginners. If we deselect that and select intermediate, no course is available with that level of expertise or difficulty level. So if we change this to intermediate and update it, then go back here, uncheck that, and reload the page, and now select intermediate, we'll see the same course because now it's under the intermediate difficulty level. The other thing is the category. For now, we only have one category in the Tutor LMS settings, Elementor courses. If we go back in here under Tutor LMS, we have categories. If I click that, as you can see, it's only one category. So let's add maybe one or two more. WordPress courses. The slug should always be a true representation of the name, so I'll just repeat WordPress courses. WordPress will automatically add a hyphen between these two. So if I press enter, now we have WordPress courses, and if you go to edit, you notice here it has a hyphen. So let me just go back. Let me refresh this. So if we go here to WordPress and click quick edit, you will notice here we have a hyphen. Now this is just to show you that you don't necessarily need to type the hyphen while typing the slug. You can just type with a space, and WordPress will automatically add a hyphen between any number of words you have in there. So now that we have those two categories, if we go back inside courses, these three courses are all under Elementor courses, but we can edit maybe this Elementor course for beginners. Right now, as you see, we have two categories here. If we uncheck that and check that, then update it, and now go back to the front end, uncheck that, and then reload the page. Now we have two categories, and if we select WordPress courses, it'll bring up just this particular course because we've set that as the category. So that's a nice way to help users filter the search results for the specific courses they're looking for, and it improves the user experience. So your goal is to make the user experience as amazing as possible to keep the users coming back. Make it easy for users to find what they're looking for on your website. And now that we've done that, it doesn't matter how many courses you have, you can continue creating more and more courses. They will all show up here on the course archive page, and you can click one course, the specific course you want, and go check it out, see more details about it on the course detail page. So remember, we learned how to do all this. So one more thing I'd like us to do is see how we can change these colors on our courses. because if we open this course, you will notice here we have a blue button. This is a blue outline, and on hover it's blue. So how do we change these colors? So going back in here inside design, remember at the footer we had these colors, so you can always change that by clicking that. Here we have the colors displayed in RGB. We can change the format to hex code if you like hex codes. For example, F15A24, that's an orange, one of my favorite colors. Enter. We can change the primary hover color to maybe something like that, a dark gray like that. In RGB it's 2626, in hex it's 1A1A1A, and maybe let's leave everything else like that. Let's save changes and see what effect that has on our courses. So let's reload that page, Control R, and now notice the colors have changed. Now this is our color theme. On hover, that's the color we have, and if we click start learning, this is our brand color. So it's easy for you to set your brand colors and make sure you reinforce what your brand stands for with the colors you choose. Let's close that. Remember, you can always collapse that to view the video in full page, and that to view the lessons. Let's close that. And now with that said and done, we're done creating the courses and exploring the course archive. It's time now to create the rest of the pages, which are the home page, contact page, and maybe the blog page, and see what we can do about this area that doesn't look so nice, and the footer as well looks too plain. We need to create a website that we can be proud of, because the goal is to create a fully working, production ready website. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Peace. And we're back. So now that we've finished working on the courses, it's time to start working on beautifying the website and also creating the missing pages, starting with the home page. So in this lesson, we'll be creating and setting the home page. So going back inside our dashboard, we'll go inside pages. So click pages. And now these are the pages we've managed to generate by installing WooCommerce and Tutor LMS. And we created this My Courses page. So now it's time to create our second self-made page. So I'll say add new, and here we are. So let's give it a name, home. And then, as I mentioned earlier, don't worry about these settings. Starting from the next lesson, we'll be looking at all these settings as we customize the page. Right now, I just want to publish it and go back to set it as the home page. So now that it's live, let's click that, and here it is. And although we've created and named it home, it's not necessarily the home page at this moment. So if I could just drag this a little bit to show you my address bar. Here's the address bar. So if we remove that and leave just the home URL, which is www.yourwebsite.com, if I hit enter, we will not be taken to that page. So this is the default WordPress homepage. Every brand new installation of WordPress has a default homepage, and this is it. This is not what we just created. So going back inside our dashboard, we need to set that homepage we've just created as the homepage, so that when people go to the root of your domain name, which is yourwebsite.com, without any extension, it goes to that page. And the way to do that is to go inside settings, reading, and you will notice here we have your homepage displays. So we have a place to set our home page and our post page. I just want to set the home page, so I'll select a static page, and then under this drop down menu I'll select home, then I'll say save changes. And now if we go up here and remove everything else and click enter, now this home page is the page we've just created, and you can tell by the name here because every page we've created has a name. So this is it. In the next lesson, let's start using Elementor to build the missing web pages and make a beautiful website. So I'll see you shortly. All right, so now because we'll be using Elementor from this lesson onwards, let's go ahead and install Elementor right now. So going back inside our dashboard, let's go to plugins, add new. And inside the WordPress plugin directory, I can type Elementor. Elementor website builder. So I'll click install now. Let's go ahead and activate. When you click activate, we'll be redirected to a setup wizard. Now it seems Elementor has not redirected me to a setup wizard. If you've been using Elementor recently, you will have noticed that when you install it and click activate, the first place you're taken to is a setup wizard that's made up of several steps. But now that I've not been redirected here, maybe I had installed Elementor here before and gone through that setup wizard, or they have decided to remove the setup wizard. And just in case Elementor has redirected you to that setup wizard, I'm going to share with you the process because I had already recorded it for a different class. So here it is. And now when I click activate, we'll be redirected to that setup wizard and we can go through it together. So here we are. I'll just zoom out a little bit so we can see more details. All right, so now you'll notice that the first thing Elementor wants us to do now is create an account to get the most out of Elementor. So these are some of the benefits for signing up for an account with Elementor. But the thing is, you don't need to have an account with Elementor to use Elementor. So I'll just go ahead and skip this part. And the second step is to accept to continue with the hello theme that Elementor has made for us. This is made by Elementor, but we're using the Astra theme, so we just go ahead and skip. Astra is a more powerful theme. The third step is to give a name to our website. While you were installing your WordPress, you gave the website a name. So that's the name that will show up here, but this gives us an opportunity to change the name to any other name we want. My website, and then let's click next. And if you have a logo for your website and you want to add it right now in advance, you can just go ahead and open the media library and pick it from the media library or upload it from your computer. But we're not going to do that right now. So I'll just skip this step. And of course you can add the logo later and I'll show you how to do that. Let's click skip. And now we get to the very last step where we have two options. We can start editing our home page from a blank canvas with the Elementor editor, or we can browse from hundreds of templates or import our own templates if we have them. But I'll go ahead and skip that and we'll be redirected to the canvas where we can now start building our website. And here we go. So basically that's all I wanted to show you. It's a new update. It was not there some few months ago. Now it's there. but everything else in the upcoming lessons remains the same. The process still remains the same to build a landing page. So without wasting any more time, let's move on to the next lesson. So I'll go to this burger menu and click exit to dashboard. Let's exit from this page. And now we're inside the dashboard and we're ready to get started building the website. And now when you have Elementor activated, it's time now to move on to the next step, which is creating the header or the navigation bar area. So let's do that in the next lesson. I'll see you shortly. So now we're ready to start building the page visually. And the first part we want to work on is the nav bar or the header section. So going back in here, to do that, to create a nice header, we will need to install an Elementor add-on called ElementsKit Lite plugin. So let's go back inside plugins and add new. It's an extension of Elementor. Because Elementor is an open source plugin, other third-party developers can actually create their own products to extend the power of Elementor. So if I type Elementor and we go to the results that are related to Elementor, you will notice there are many other plugins here by third-party developers that bear the name Elementor in their name. So this is by WP Developer. The original Elementor is by Elementor.com. So as you can see here, we have premium add-ons for Elementor by Leap13, ElementsKit Elementor add-ons by WPMet, Elementor custom skin by dudastar.com, and many more. So these are third-party developers who have created solutions to extend what Elementor can do, and they've integrated those settings or features with Elementor to allow you to do much more than you can do with the free version of Elementor. And one of those plugins is called ElementsKit Elementor add-ons. So I'll click install now. Now let's activate it. And now as you can see, we have it installed and active. And on the left here, it's listed on the menu. So let's click ElementsKit. We'll be redirected to a setup wizard that we will go through a few steps, and then we're ready to get started. So this is the setup wizard. We have about 5 steps. Here we're just choosing how many wizards we need pre-activated as we use the plugin. So if we leave it at basic or recommended, it just means some of these features here will not be set to be available by default. But if we choose advanced, it means more of these widgets and features will be activated by default when we're using the plugin on our workspace. So for example, if I select advanced, look at some of these settings here. They will change. So let me click advanced, and now you notice the widget builder has been set to on by default. That means it will be available to us by default while we're building the page in the front end. And I like using the advanced setting here, so that's okay. Next step, I'll just click next step, next step, next, and save changes. All right, so now we're ready to start using ElementsKit Lite. And the first thing I want to do is go to header footer. This is where we'll be able to see all the headers and footers we have created for our website. Let me get rid of that, and I'll just say add new so we can create our header. So header, the type is header. We have 2 options here. When we're creating the footer, we'll choose footer. Then we want this header to be visible on the entire website, no matter which page you're on. Then we need it to be activated. So that means it's on. If we deactivate it, it will not be visible. Then save changes. Alright, so our header is now listed here. I'll click edit and I'll go to edit content. That will take us to the front end and we can start using the Elementor tools that are available to us to build the header, the navigation area. And here we are. And the first thing you'll notice here is that we have 3 icons. This here is to add a section and start building everything from scratch. If I close that, this one represents the native Elementor templates. And this here represents templates that have been brought in by ElementsKit, the add-on we've just added. So we can click that to view the different templates that ElementsKit has in store, and there are many. So if we click on any of these templates, we'll add the full page with all these images and settings exactly the way it is, and that enables us to work very fast, and that's the way we'll go. But just to make a comment here, if we go inside Elementor, these are the templates actually created and brought in by the Elementor team. So ElementsKit is just extending what's already in here. And this right here is the icon that allows you to get started building the website from scratch yourself. So for example, if I select that column, double column section, we can go in here and start dragging an image in there and then some text block and all that. But we'll not take this route because I already have several courses or classes right here on Skillshare showing you how to build a web page or a landing page from scratch. And to be more specific, I published a very awesome class on how to build a landing page for an online course platform from scratch using Elementor, and it's right here. You can take it. In fact, the reason I had created it was to create this whole website with the courses, but I noticed it would be a very long course. It would be several hours long. So I decided to first show you how to create the landing page with Elementor separately. And now for this class, I wanted to focus on how to create the courses. That's why I did not combine the two. So if you want to learn how to build this landing page or this home page from scratch with Elementor, I recommend you take that class right now. But if you want to use pre-made templates, then let's follow this method. So let's go ahead and click ElementsKit, and then in here let's go and select sections. And as you can see, we have a header, we have a footer section, and we can get started using that. So I'll select this. Yeah, let's say for example I want to use this. Insert. And now here is our header. So I'll select update. And let's preview the changes. And that's how our header will look. So we can go ahead and edit these details. So first of all, let's start by selecting this menu. As you can see, there's a navbar item here. So if I select that, this will change to ElementsKit nav menu. And we can go ahead and select a menu here. So if I click that drop down menu, we're supposed to see the list of menus we've already created, but we don't have a menu here. So let's go inside our dashboard and create our menu. So let's go inside appearance, menus. And now as you can see, create your first menu below. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll give it a name, my menu, and let's make it the primary menu. Then click create menu. All right, so now it's been created. As you can see here, add menu items from the column on the left, this column here. So if I collapse this panel, we can get menu items from these different places, but we want to get pages as menu items. So I'll click view all, and I want to select home. I want to bring the dashboard, my courses, yeah, those three. Add to menu, and there we have them, the three of them. So I'll drag dashboard to be the last menu item and save menu. All right, so now that it's saved, let's go back to this place where we were editing the header, and let's refresh this page. So with the page refreshed, if I select this nav item again and go here to select menu, now we have my menu available. If I select it, now we have the three menu items we just added to the menu. Let's click update. And now this is the point where we can replace the logo. So I'll select this item, and this will change to edit image because this is an image element. We can go ahead and select that. Then I'll upload my logo. There we have it. Then insert media. Don't worry about the colors. We're just trying to understand how to do this. I would use the right brand colors. As you can see, this is blue. All right, so let's update that. And let's preview changes. And there is our header. So now if, for example, we go to, let me remove all that. If we go to the home page, that's how the home page looks. Now you'll notice we don't have that ugly nav menu that we had here earlier. And if we go to my courses, that's how the page looks. So now you'll notice we need to push this menu up to here so that it aligns with the rest of the content. So let's go back in here, select the image item, go to advanced, remove this margin, and on the left, let's reduce this margin. Let's see where that reaches. Let's preview the changes. And that's what we have. So let's push this as well before we have a look at where it goes. Remember, you can always drag this to the left. You're not limited to where it is by default. So let's push it up to somewhere there. And let's select this. Advanced. Let's also push it to the left like that. And then update. And then let's preview the changes. There we have it. So if we go to my courses, let's see where they're now positioned. All right, so now they're properly aligned. So we need to push these to the right slightly. So let's go in here. Now let's select this. Advanced, break that. On the right, let's decrease the margin up to that point, 35. Let's select this as well. Now actually, let me get rid of this. I don't need this search bar, so delete that. I just want to be left with the nav bar. Select the nav bar, advanced. Let's reduce that and push it to the right like that. Update. Let's preview the changes. There we go. So if we click my courses, I think now it's properly aligned. So that's how to create the header. But before we move on, let's just see how to change this background color just in case you want to change it to your brand colors. So let's bring up the navigator by hitting Control I. And this blue area here is an inner section. So I'll select inner section and this will change to inner section. Under style, background, as you can see, we have this blue color. We can change it to any color we want. So let me just change it to that color for now, and then update. All right, that's awesome. The next thing we want to do is change the color of the nav item. So selecting that, as you can see in our navigator, now what's selected is ElementsKit nav menu. So selecting that, let's go inside style, collapse menu wrapper, go inside menu item style, and let's select the item color to be whatever color we want it to be. So in this instance, we want it to be 40 40 40, like that. And on hover, we want it to be that orange, so F15A24. So on hover, it looks like that, and when it's active, it also needs to be F15A24. And let's update that. Let's preview the changes. All right, so there we go. So if you select my courses, now the colors are rhyming with the rest of the web page. So going back in here, let's change these details, which is very easy, quickly before we complete this part. So selecting this edit icon list, let's go to content. Let's select the number, and of course you can edit the number here to whatever you want. Collapse that. Let's go to email. Of course you can change that to whatever you want, .co.ke. And just like that. If you want to change the colors, you can go inside style, icon. There is no icon here, so it's the text. Let's change the text color to F15A24, and that's it. Let's select this anywhere in here, and now what's selected is the social icons. This was the icon list. This is the social icons. So while it's selected, we can go inside content. And now under each social icon, you can change the URL to whatever URL you want. You can change the color. Once you're done with that, you can expand Twitter, do the same. So with those changes done, let's go back to the front end and see what we have. So first of all, update it and then click preview changes. Preview changes, and there we have it. So let's select my courses. That's how it looks. So that's how to create the header section. In the next lesson, let's see how to create the home page using pre-made templates. Let's see how to populate this page with content using a pre-made template. I'll see you shortly. So now we're almost done with the header section, but I just remembered that I've not shown you how to add more menu items. So let's assume you wanted to add an extra menu item to this nav bar. How would you do that? So let's go back inside the dashboard by clicking that burger menu, this burger menu, then exit. If this shows up, just select WP dashboard and then apply. Wait, let's update this. Let's make sure we save changes. And now let's exit to the dashboard. All right, so to create a menu item, let me show you something. Let's go to menus. If you remember, these are the menu items and we picked them from these panels. So a menu item can be any of these things. Now I like adding menu items that are actually pages. So all we need to do is go in here, add new page. Let's say for example, pricing. Then I'll just go ahead and hit publish. So I'll say publish. And then I'll go back in here and now we have pricing as one of the pages. So that means it can be a menu item. So going back inside appearance, menus, you'll see pricing listed here. And if you can't see it, you can just click view all. It will show all pages that you created, and it will still be in that list. So I'll select it and add to menu. And now it's been added there. I'll bring it right after courses and then save menu. And now if we right click and open this link in a new tab and go to that tab, as you can see, now we have pricing, and if we click pricing, it will change to pricing from home. Now we're in the pricing page, and you can see by the active color here. So that's how to add additional menu items to your navbar, just in case you have more pages and you want to show more information. In the next lesson, let's see how to create the home page by using pre-made templates created by ElementsKit Lite. I'll see you shortly. And welcome back. Now, before we go any further, I just realized we did not touch on the dashboard. So let's take a moment and explore the dashboard and see what we have in there. So I'll click dashboard, and here we are inside the dashboard, and this is the general area of the dashboard currently. As you can see, most of these things are explanatory, so I don't need to explain them. These are the courses I have published as the author or as the admin. And this is where the name of the user is supposed to be. So because I'm the admin and this is the only name I've provided so far, it reads admin, but it should be reading the name of the user. And as you can see right here, we have that prompt or reminder to finish our profile. So we can set our profile photo, we can set our bio, and we can set a withdrawal method if this website allows instructors to create and sell courses. So I'll show you how to set your profile photo and complete your profile shortly. So basically all these other areas are self-explanatory, very easy to understand. I suggest you take a moment and go through each and see what we have nested inside all the panels. Now to finish your profile, click settings, and you'll be redirected to this area here where you can fill in your details. So let's say John Doe, that's my username, telephone number, like that. Then my skill, occupation, WordPress designer or something of that sort. My bio, I love web design. Display name, and I can update the profile. And of course we can change the profile pic, update cover photo. There we go. You can also change the profile pic. So let me just add this logo, and there we go. So once we're done with that, just click update profile and it will reflect right here. So basically that's all there is to the profile and the dashboard. Take a moment and explore everything else we have in here. If you're not allowing people to publish and sell courses on your website, this part doesn't really apply to you. And with that, let's move on to the next lesson. I'll see you shortly. And welcome back. So now it's time to create a home page using pre-made templates. So what we need to do is click edit page, or if you're inside the dashboard, just go to pages. And this is the home page. Click edit. And because we had already created it, first of all, I want to talk about these settings here. So the first setting we need to change here is the template. We don't want to use the default template. We want to use the Elementor full width. Then let's go inside the Astra settings. These are the Astra theme settings. This Elementor full width setting or this template setting belongs to Elementor. Now it's time to change the Astra settings. For the content layout, I want full width stretched. I don't want sidebars on the page. For the sidebar, as mentioned, we don't want a sidebar, so no sidebar. Disable elements, so let's disable the default header and footer created by Astra. So we've done that because we've already created our own header and we're going to create our own footer. So if I could just jump quickly to the page, this is the footer by Astra. So if we remove by disabling this footer, now it's not present. And if I click preview in new tab, and now as you can see, we don't have the footer here. So with that, all right, so now let's click edit with Elementor. We'll be redirected to the front end where we can now visually build the web page. And here we are. So now you will notice we have the header here, but we cannot edit the header because we left the editor of the header. Remember that? If we go back in here and say dashboard, to edit the header, we went to ElementsKit header footer and selected edit or edit with Elementor now that we've already created it with Elementor. And that's how we were able to edit the header. Now going back here where we're editing the page, we can't edit the header because that's a different place. This is a different editor. So let me close the navigator. And right here, I just need to select a template from ElementsKit by clicking that icon. And under pages, we have so many templates here that we can use. I suggest you explore the different templates we have, play around with them. But the one we want to use is this one, create digital products. So I'll select that and then select insert. And there we go. So before we edit anything, let's update the page and preview the changes. So let's preview the changes. And there we have it. So let me zoom out a little bit just to fit everything on the page properly. And now if we start scrolling, that's our home page or our landing page for our course platform. So now the only thing we need to do is start customizing this content to communicate what we want to communicate through the page. So going back inside Elementor, we're going to customize every single section from the top all the way to the bottom and replace the current placeholder text with our own text. If you want to replace the images as well, you can go ahead and do that. Let's see how to do it. Let me zoom in just up to that point. And basically, I think this is a nice spot to end this lesson. Now that we've imported the page, in the next lesson, let's see how to customize it. I'll see you shortly. And we're back. So let's go ahead and start customizing this page. Going back inside our editor, the first thing we want to edit, of course, is the H1. So when we select it, this changes to heading. And just in case you don't know what an H1 is or how to use it on your web page for search engine optimization, I suggest you go and take the SEO class I mentioned earlier. Check out my profile, you'll find it right there. Understand why an H1 is important for your web page. Now that we've selected it, this has changed to edit heading. So these are the settings for this creative digital products. So I'll select that and change the title. Elementor courses for everyone. So I think I like that. And for this text right here, that should be either the subtitle or text description. So it's not the subtitle, title description. Yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and customize that. All right, so that's that. Update. And let's preview the changes. So that's our landing page. Let me zoom out just a little bit. That's how it looks. But now if you want to change this color to maybe this dark gray, let's go back in here. While this is selected, you can go inside style, title. And as you can see, the color is currently navy blue. We can select that and drag this all the way there, or input our code, which is 4040, and update that. We can also change the typography. In other words, we can change the font. So if I select that, we can go to the font family and type in Montserrat or any other font you like. Montserrat, and that's this. So I'll select that, and now you see we've changed the font. Let's click update, and I'll just quickly review the changes. All right, so there we go. So now, as you can see right now, it's not very well aligned with the logo. We need to push it to the left a little bit, and we need to push this image inwards a little bit. So let's go back inside the dashboard. I'll select the column. This section has two columns. That's one column and another column. So I'll select this column, advanced, go to the margin, and on the left I'll reduce the margin up to that point. We can do the same for this, but I want to replace this image with another image I had prepared separately. So, and as you can see right here, we have two images. One image is inside this other image. So first of all, I want to get rid of that. So I'll delete that. Then I'll get this. And before we move on, there's something I've just remembered, a handy tool that we're supposed to activate or turn on. When we hover over these corners here to edit this element, or over here to edit the column, or here, we're supposed to see some additional icons popping out of this to help us work much faster. So let's go inside this burger menu and click user preferences and check editing handles. And when we hover over this, these are the icons I was talking about. All right, so now with that, I want to replace this image. So I'll just select the image element by clicking anywhere inside here. And now this has changed to image. And I'll select that and go inside a folder I had prepared. Let's say select. And this is a folder I had prepared. These are the images we'll use, and you'll find this folder called assets right below this video. So look in the resources tab. So going inside here, I want to pick this image here, this lady. And these are the images that were imported together with the template we've just imported. So once we replace all the images with the images we want, we can go back to the dashboard and delete all of these because we don't need them. But for now, we need to leave them where they are so we can know what we're replacing. So insert media, and there we go. I like that better than the one we had. So it seems we need to push this image downwards a little bit to align it to the text block, or push the text block upwards a little bit. So I'll select the text content and then go inside advanced. And for the top margin, let's reduce it up to that point so that it's aligned properly to the image. So let's say 45. I think that's more like it. And of course, as you can see, we have two buttons here. One is white in its normal state and blue on hover. We can change it to rhyme with this color scheme. So selecting this element holding two buttons, clicking anywhere in here, this changes to dual button, and we can go inside style. If I collapse button 1, we have button 2. Of course, that's this. For the color, let's change it to white by default, or 4040. That's the color of the font. And the background type, because right now it's white, I want to make it slightly gray so that it's visible like that. Then let's say update. And on hover, we want it to be this dark gray. So let's go to hover. In the hover state, the background color needs to be 4040, like that. That's awesome. So let's update that. And we can push the image downwards a little bit because I want to align it to this button up to somewhere there. So while the image is selected, this changes to edit image. Go to advanced, top margin, push it down like that. And then let's say update. All right, and now let's go ahead and preview the changes. Now, of course, we're going to repeat the same steps for every single section on the page: editing the text, communicating what we want to communicate, and replacing the images or icons as we please. So going back in here, and just in case you want to change the font of the buttons, we can, while this is still selected, and we didn't change this hover effect, I also want it to be this black, this dark gray. So while this is still selected, let's go in here. Button 1 on hover needs to be 4040, just like that. All right, and in its normal state, I want it to be this orange. We're trying to maintain the brand color, so F15A24, just like that. Awesome. And if you want to change the font, first of all, to get rid of this box here, click anywhere in here. So I'll just click there. And now, while we're inside button 1, let's go to typography. Where is typography? Right here, typography, font family, Montserrat. There we go. And now the font is a little bit bigger than the previous font, so it's jumped to the next line. So let's go to content, button width, and let's expand that a little bit. Now notice we've changed the font only for this button and not this. While we're still here on the element, let's go back inside style, collapse button 1, go to button 2, typography, Montserrat. Montserrat. There we go. Next, let's work on this heading block. So when we click that, this will change to edit heading, and we can edit that. Variety of courses for your web design needs. Let's go inside style, and let's say the title, which is this. We want it to be 4040 in color, and we want it to be, let's go to typography. We want it to be Montserrat, just like that. And while it's still selected, let's go inside advanced. All right, so by selecting that, let's increase the width, just like that. And now we've expanded it and allowed it to have just 2 lines. Next, while it's still selected, let's go back inside content, title, description, and in here we can change this description. All right, so categorize into our 3 favorite technologies. Let's say, for example, Our 3 favorite technologies are, let's select this, click anywhere in there, and this is web design. So I'll say Elementor courses. For this one, select this, I'll say WordPress courses. And for this one, I'll say something like Figma courses. So our courses are categorized into 3 main categories. And while we're still here, we can change this description. We can also say we don't want this icon and just leave it like that. No icons. And then let's change the font. So icon box container, let's collapse that. Content, and let's go to typography and change that to Montserrat. Same case applies to that. So I'll just make changes to one and apply, copy all the styling to the rest. So let's also change, we change the typography font inside the container, title font. Now let's change the descriptions font to Montserrat as well. Montserrat, let's go, just like that. And now let's change the colors. I need the title to have F15A24 and on hover 40, just like that. And now that we have that, wait, let's go inside the description. Font color, I want it to be dark gray like that, and also on hover. All right, so now I'll just click inside here, copy, and then click anywhere in here, then paste style. Repeat the same for this, paste style. And now the 3 of them have the same styling. Update that. And these sections are pretty much the same. So as you can see, this is an image. We can replace the image by clicking that and then going in there, upload files, select files. Let's go inside our folder once again. I'll pick that. And once it's uploaded, I'll insert media. And there we go. So this is another heading box just like this. So we can do the same thing we did earlier. So the first thing we do is select it, change to heading, join our growing community, and then for the title description we could change it to something else. So I'm not going to do that because this is just a sample, but you already know how to change, to edit this text. So edit it here, and now let's go inside style and change the title, font, color, and then let's change the typography to Montserrat, just like that. And now this is a video. I don't think I need this video, so I'll just get rid of it like that. And then now we have fun facts. You can also edit this text. This is a text editor. When you select it, this changes to text editor, and you can write anything you want here, or you can just get rid of it just like that, because this description is enough for you to describe what this is all about. So selecting that fun fact, we can go in here and select content. This says successful projects. We can say courses. So we have 934 courses. We can change the number to maybe 124 courses published already on the website. For the settings, let's see, we don't need to change that, but we can go inside style, and for the content we can change the color of the number to maybe F15A24. Content, let's change the color of the title to 4040. We can edit the typography, can make it slightly bigger, maybe give it some weight, maybe 800, like that, and change it to Montserrat, just like that. And now let me copy this, click anywhere in there, and then copy, click there, right click, paste style, click there, right click, paste style. And now let's say this is content. We have maybe 6,000 plus, so let's give it a suffix plus. And now this number seems to be affecting the countdown, so why don't we say 6K students. So I'll add a K there. $6,000 students. You can get as creative as you want with this, depending on what the number represents. And right here, finally, we can say maybe 100% satisfied. So let's add a percentage sign there. 100% satisfaction. Update that. And now basically up to this point, you already know what to do about these parts. What we already did with these buttons here, you can do on those other buttons. So another thing we can do is just select anywhere in here, or select this, select the dual button, right click, copy, and then click anywhere in here, let's say there, right click, paste style, and now we've applied the same styles as these. Then we can come here, select this, right click, copy, select this, right click, paste style, and now it will take the styling we already gave to this one, because it's the same element, a heading element. Then we can replace this image by selecting that, upload files, select files. Let's pick, for example, this one here. Insert media. And there we go. Let's see. This is another heading. So basically, the same case applies to this. We can change this to anything we want. We'd like to hear from you. Call us today. So let's just say call us today. So we can have 2 lines. And of course, let's go inside title, typography, Montserrat. And let's make it that 4040 or whichever color you want. And we can always drag this to create some more room in there. And this is a text editor. So by selecting this, no, this is not a text editor. This is a heading, and they've not added the title. So this is just a title description, and we can edit that. So basically these elements are pretty simple to edit and update or customize to your liking. It's just about being creative and knowing exactly what you want your website to look like. And now we have some images here representing the brands. So basically the same case applies to this image element. By selecting that, we can go in here and select a logo to represent a brand that we've worked with. Let me see if I can find a logo. Let me just add that. Insert media, and there we go. So you can replace all these images with your own images. Or if you don't want this area, you can just delete that. Let's update that. And let's preview the changes and see how our page looks so far. So scrolling downwards. All right, so that's the hero section. Then scrolling downwards, we have that section over there. Then we have join our growing community. Remember, you have to be creative with this content because this is a page that's supposed to convert visitors into buying students who enroll in your courses. So be very creative about what you put on this page. Now this is where we've reached. We only have these two sections to go. So let's look at the testimonials. And remember, I mentioned if you want to build a beautiful landing page or home page from scratch with Elementor by adding elements from the left to right, instead of using a template like this, I have a class created specifically for that. Take that class and learn how to build a web page from scratch without using templates. All right, so now let's go and select these testimonials, which is a heading. Once again, you can change this to whatever you want. For example, what our clients say. And then let's go inside style, title. Change the color. Maybe let's give it F15, A24 this time. And then let's change the typography to Montserrat once again. Montserrat, and that's that. Then let's select the testimonial element. There we go. This has changed to edit testimonial. Now this is the one selected. Let me drag this out a little bit so you can see that. We have different options here that you can play around with. So let's say we want to use this instead. You can change that, and now you see the layout has changed a little bit. Then we can go inside the testimonial, and here are the two testimonials. Kimberly Garcia. You can change what they've said about your website or your courses. You can change their title. Maybe they work at Tesla. Marketing manager. Kimberly Clark. That's that. And then for the client avatar, we can choose an image, upload files, select files. This assets folder, we have a few users here. Let's say this is Kimberly. All right, let's insert that. And now there is Kimberly, managing marketing manager Tesla. Let's repeat the same for the second user, the second client. Let's say Mark Twain, CEO, Twain Tech, or something of that sort. You can change the testimonials there, and then you can say maybe they gave it a four-star rating. Let's change this guy. Upload files. Let's go inside our assets folder. Let's say that guy. Insert media. And now when it scrolls, you will see this other guy like that. All right, let's collapse Mark Twain, and now we can duplicate that to add a third client. So now if we click that, we can change the third client to Hannah Brady, COO, maybe Brady Enterprises. They gave us a 5-star rating, and let's change the image. That's Hannah. Insert media, and now let's go inside the style to change the font and the different colors of the different parts of the testimonial. So in the layout, I think I just like the layout the way it is. Let's go inside the description, change the color to 4040. Now it's that black. Let's see what else. For the quote, first of all, let's change the font to Montserrat on the typography. And there we go. Let's go to the client, change the color as well. Let's say the client's name will be that color. And the typography, Montserrat. Just like that. And I'll leave that like that. Or let's make it a dark gray and change it to Montserrat. Update that. All right, so let's preview the changes. Feel free to play around with all these settings and see what you can come up with. Of course, you don't necessarily have to do exactly what I did. And if you feel that this space is too big between the testimonial and the title here, or while this element is still selected, go to advanced, break that link over there, and then reduce the top margin. Let's push it up to somewhere there. All right, let's update that. And let's preview the changes. And let's start scrolling downwards. All right. And there we go. So now let's edit this part. Select that. Let's go to style. Now we're editing this section to see if we can change this reddish color. Go in here, and while the background is an image, it has a background overlay. So collapsing the background, let's go to background overlay, and as you can see, it's that reddish color. We can change it to F15A24, and now it's rhyming with the rest of the brand color. Of course, changing this heading can change what it says, but I won't do that. We can change the font, title, typography, Montserrat, just like that. And this is a form, so in this instance we won't be learning how to create WordPress forms, but in the class I mentioned, there's a part where I show you how to create a form in the backend and add it to the landing page. So check it out and learn how to add a form like this, so to allow people to sign up or send questions to your email. And now finally, this is the very last section we're working on. Of course, by now you already know we can replace this image with a different one. Let's go to upload. Let's choose maybe this one to represent online courses. insert media, and there we go. But there seems to be something else in the background here, another image. So I'll select that. And because it's behind this other image, it's obstructing me from selecting it. I can click that, then right click and delete. Or if I undo that, if I hit Control I, we'll open up the navigator and we'll go to the very last section. Let's collapse all these sections. And this is the last section. If we expand it, we have the first column. This column, as you can see, it has two images. If we select that, we've selected this image. If we select this, we've selected the second image. So we can right click and delete that, and now we're left with just one image. So let me close the navigator, and for this I'll just go back in here, click this, right click, copy, click this, right click, paste style, and there we go. And this is a sign up form. As I've mentioned, you will learn how to create and add forms using shortcodes in the class I've recommended. So let's update that and look at the changes in the front end. Let's preview the changes. All right, so here we go. Let's start scrolling downwards. And I think this space is too big, so we'll reduce it. But for now, let's just keep scrolling. Scroll downwards, just like that. So the goal for this lesson was to show you how to import and customize your landing page or your home page. Now you can get as creative as you want, and as you've noticed, we have several templates you can use. This is not the only template you can use, and of course, if I were actually building my own website, I would take time to really think about what I want to put in these different parts. So I suggest you do the same. Really think about the content you want to put on this page in order to sell your website properly, because this is the very first page people visit when they land on your website. And with that said, that brings us to the end of importing and customizing your homepage. Next, we'll be looking at how to create the footer before we look at how to make the website fully responsive to different screen sizes. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Peace. And welcome back. So now we're done with the page content. That's the main body content. So first of all, I want to expand this and restore the screen to where it was. I forgot to do that. So now we're focused right here on the page. You will notice when we start scrolling, the nav bar is disappearing. So let's go ahead and make it sticky before creating the footer. And we do that by adding a very nice plugin called Sticky Header Effects for Elementor. So going back inside our dashboard, let's exit from this part because we're done with this page. Exit. Will be redirected to the dashboard, and here we are. So let's go to plugins, add new. All right, so in here let's look for Elementor. I'll just type Elementor, and then let's start scrolling and look for Sticky Header Effects for Elementor. Here we go, Sticky Header Effects for Elementor by Ratner. Let me just make these fonts bigger so we can have two columns. Scrolling downwards. Sticky Header Effects for Elementor by Ratner. Install that now. And let's activate it. Alright, and now it's active. Sticky Header Effects for Elementor. Let me just get rid of these notifications up here. And now when we go back to the front end, we want to edit the header and make it sticky. So I'll just go up here because we already created it using Elementor. We can go up here and click header, and we'll be redirected to the header editor. Alright, so now let's select the section that's holding everything, and that's this one here. So selecting it, this changes to edit section. Go inside advanced, and now one of the options here is sticky header effects. Let's open that drop down menu and enable it, and that will enable several settings here, but we need just one or two. So the one we need is background color. Choose what color to change the background to after scrolling. So when we start scrolling, what color should the background of the heading be? So let's look at what it looks like before we make any changes here. So update, and let's preview the changes. And now, because we're previewing the changes we've made to the header, we can't see the content. We can't see the rest of the content because we're editing the header. So to see the rest of the content, let's click home to be taken to the home page like that, and then let's start scrolling. And now, as you can see, the header remains sticky at the top to enable the user to navigate easily no matter which part of the web page they're at. So now, as you can see, the background is transparent, and that's where the background color change comes in. So we can say we want it to be white. So let's change it to white. As soon as we start scrolling, it will no longer be transparent. So let's preview the changes now. Let's go to the home page. And now let's start scrolling and look at the background. As you can see, it's white, so there is no conflict with the other text in the background on the page. And that's that. So that's how to make the header sticky. In the next lesson, let's create the footer. See you shortly. And welcome back. So now it's time to create the footer. Our header is sticky and the page content is added and customized. It's time to finish by adding the footer. And we'll create the footer the same way we created the header using ElementsKit. So let's go back inside the dashboard, inside ElementsKit, header footer. And right now we only have the header. So let's say add new. This time it's the footer. And here in the type, we'll select footer. We want it visible on the entire site. And of course it needs to be active. Let's save the changes. And now let's click edit. Let's go to edit content. So we'll be redirected to the front end to use Elementor to build it. All right, so here we are. If you remember what we did with the header, we went to ElementsKit and added a template from there. So let's do the same. I'll click the ElementsKit logo, and then under sections, we'll go directly to these templates provided here. As you can see, we have several free headers and footers. And I want to go with this one because it rhymes with the header. So I'll just click insert. And here we are, a nice beautiful footer ready for us to start customizing. So the first thing we need to do is edit the logo. I'll select that image element and go scroll downwards to the place we uploaded our logo. Where is our logo? Load more. Here's the logo. Insert media. There we go. And I want to push it to the left just slightly. So while it's still selected, I'll go to advanced, margin, remove this link in case it's there, and then let's push it like that. Update that. For this title here, let's change the font to Montserrat. So I'll go inside the style, and then for the typography, Montserrat. Just like that. And then let's change its color under text color. or let's make it F15, that orange, F15 A24. Subscribe now. Let's do the same. So I'll just click this, right click, copy, click that to select it, then right click, paste style, and there we go. So now let's select this page list, and now this changes to page list. And as you can see, we have 3 items: home, contact form 7 widget, and video widget for Elementor. We can change these. So let's say this is, this is the home item. The second one is my courses, or we can just leave that as courses. Blog, let's duplicate that. Yeah, let's say contact, and maybe let's add one more. Collapse that, and I want to change this so the contact remains the last. This should be maybe something like about, and now we can drag this to be maybe the second one after home, and there we go. We have some nice menu items or useful links. For the second one here, let's select that, and we still have 3 elements. So I'll select the first one, and let's say terms and conditions. Terms and conditions. Second one, maybe let's say privacy policy. The third one, let's say licensing. All right, so there we go. Update that, and let's preview the changes. Awesome. Let's go ahead and change this year and those other details. So let's select this. This is a heading, so let's change that to 2022. I'll just give it the name on the logo, Pabzi Courses, all rights reserved. And there we go. We can always change the color here by selecting this section and then going inside style. You can change that to that. We don't necessarily need this, so we can just remove this column and then select this text, and then let's go inside style, general alignment, and now it's been pushed to the center. Now you'll notice we have a form element here, and this is a nice spot to capture user details in order to add them to your mailing list. Of course, you can change what this text says by selecting it. That's a text editor, so you can just select this and change what it's all about. Enthusiasts. All right, so the next thing we want to look at is these icons. Oh, before we do that, let's go back here, because these are links. How do we make them work so that when someone clicks any of them, they're redirected to the specific page? So going to the home link, as you can see down here, we have select page. So because this is a link to a page, we can select from the list of pages we have. So we have home, and now that button will lead to the home page. Going to about, because we've not created an about page, we will have to create it first and then select it from this drop down menu. So I'll just leave it at that. Courses, we'll just go ahead and select my courses, update that, and let's preview the changes. So now if we click home, we're redirected to the home page, and if we scroll all the way to the bottom, of course now you see we have our footer, and it's looking awesome, I think. So if we click courses, we've decided we want it to be redirecting us to the my courses page, and there we go. Now we're on the My Courses page, or the course archive. So going back in here, let me close that down. Going back in here, now let's look at the social links or social icons. We have them. We can change the colors, but I want to leave them at their default brand colors. So Facebook blue, Twitter blue, and all that. And of course we can, now that we've selected Facebook, we can add the Facebook link, facebook.com. And if you want to open it in a new tab, we can select that from this cogwheel, open a new window, update. And let's preview the changes. Awesome. So if I click this Facebook icon, it'll redirect us to Facebook, just like that. So we'll go ahead and do the same for the rest of the icons. Let me close that down, collapse that, expand Twitter. The same case applies to this, www.twitter.com. Let's open it in a new tab and let's update that. And another thing I forgot to mention is we can change the colors on hover and in the normal state. So on hover, we want to have maybe a background, circular background, and the icon should change to white. So by selecting hover, for the color, let's say white. Now when we hover, it becomes white. And that only applies to the Twitter because right now we're working on the Twitter icon. And now that the color of the icon is white, the background can turn to that blue. So let me just go back in here and select the Twitter blue, copy that, and put it in here. So now that's what it does. So let's go back inside Facebook and do the same. Under normal state, the color of the icon is the Facebook blue. I'll copy the Facebook blue, go inside hover, and say the background is now the one that's supposed to be Facebook blue. Paste that, and then the icon should turn white. And the same case applies to that. So repeat that for the rest of the icons, or just leave them the way they are if you want that simplicity. So I'll click update, and let's preview the changes. Here we are. There we go. So let's go to the home page, and now let's scroll downwards and see how our home page looks. So scrolling downwards, our header still remains sticky. And here's our footer. So now our page is complete. This footer is visible in all pages. So if we go to my courses, the header remains sticky and the footer is right here. So here are the courses. If we go to the pricing page, here's the pricing page. The footer is still visible and the header is still visible. Let's go inside the dashboard and see what we have. Scrolling downwards all to the bottom, there we go. So now going back inside the pricing page, because we had not edited this page, we just created it to have an additional menu item. We still have the Astra footer available on this page. So of course, you remember while we were creating the home page, we went to edit. So I'll edit that so we can open the backend editor. And remember, we went inside the Astra settings and disabled the header and footer. So now once we've disabled these two, if we update this page and preview it in a new tab, now as you can see, we don't have that footer. That's an Astra footer. So now we can start editing this page with Elementor. Now that's an assignment for you. While we're still in this page, all you need to do now that the page is published and updated is to click edit with Elementor. But before we do that, make sure you click Elementor full width and sidebar, no sidebar, and in here under the Elementor settings for the template, Elementor full width, update that. And then let's go inside and edit with Elementor. This is your assignment. You'll go ahead and create this page using the templates available. You can use the Elementor templates or the ElementsKit templates, but I just wanted to show you how to get to the editor. So here we are inside the editor, and let's see if we have a pricing section template. So inside sections, do we have a pricing? Can you do a search? Pricing. Yeah, here we are. Pricing table. Let's say insert. And there we go. So it's up to you to get creative and create a nice pricing table for this page. If I just update that, and then let's preview the changes. That's how our pricing page looks. This is your assignment, but I feel like continuing. So if we select this, we can change this image and add an image that has these brand colors. So right now it's purple and we can't work with this. So make sure you replace these images with images that have the right brand colors. At the same time, this is not the only pricing table available. You can choose any other type of pricing table that you want within the templates. And of course, you can change the color of the button by going inside the style. Anytime you want to change the colors of the different elements, go inside the style and you will find the element in there. As you can see, we have this purple. We can change it to F15A24. Well, that's the text color. But what about the background? Let me select this. Go inside style, button, background type, color. Let's say 4040, or let's say F15A24, and on hover, we want it to be 4040. Just like that. And then I'll on hover for this. We also want it to be 4040. And then I'll copy this. I'll select this and then copy, select this, and then right click, paste style. There we go. Update that. Let's preview the changes. Scrolling downwards, there we go. That's it. So now and we forgot to add the contact page here. So remember how we added these menu items. So make sure you go back to the back end and add the contact page here, because I think it's important to allow people to get in touch with you very easily. And now that we've reached that part, I think this is a nice place to end this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll be looking at how to optimize this website to be responsive to all device sizes. That's tablets, smartphones. It already looks good on desktop. So let's optimize it for smartphones and tablets. So I'll see you in the next lesson. And welcome back. Now, I'm recording this lesson right after already publishing the course. So that's why you notice that this page looks a little bit different than what you already have, what we've already worked on. That being said, after publishing the class, I went through every single lesson to see the things we've covered, and I noticed there are two things we need to talk about because you might have questions about them. And that's why I put this page together very quickly, just to show you those two tips and tricks. I had already deleted the website I built while recording this course. And the first thing I noticed is that while we've already taken the steps to remove the Astra footer from all the pages, you might have noticed that on the My Courses page, the footer is not disappearing, even though we've set it to not be visible. And that's because we need to remove it from a different area of the WordPress settings. So what we need to do is go inside Customize while we're on the My Courses page. There we go. And now you'll notice we have a footer builder option here. So let's click that. And that will reveal the Astra footer builder. We have two options on how to remove that footer. So this is the footer that was built with Astra. This is built with Elementor, of course. So we're editing this one, and that's why when we hover over it, we'll notice we have this edit icon here. Now this is a representation of the footer. So the first way to remove it completely is just to click this. But before we click that to remove it, because that's the way we will go, the other way to make it invisible on the page is to click this icon here, and we'll be redirected to this settings area, and we can go right here to the bottom and say hide on desktop, switch to tablet, say hide on tablet, switch to mobile phones, and hide on mobile phones. Now it's not visible on any device. Alright, so that's it, it's gone. Now, as I had mentioned, the other way to get rid of it completely is to just click this. So let's remove it. Click this. So if I make it visible on desktop, as you can see, it's the copyright area. So it's represented right here. So I'll just click remove, and now it's completely gone. So if I publish that and close this customization area, now it's not visible. So that's how to get rid of the footer on this My Courses page. And the reason why we're unable to remove it the way we removed it on the other pages is because we had already set it as a course archive page inside the Tutor LMS settings. Now, the second thing I wanted us to talk about is, let's go back in here. If we add this course to the cart and then view cart, as you can see, the colors are still the default blue Astra theme colors, but we would like the color to be consistent with our brand color. And in my case, it's the orange color that I like. And so the way to edit these default Astra colors is to go inside Customize once again. And once this menu loads, we go inside Global. It's automatically going to the cart settings because we're on the cart page, but we don't want to edit this part. We want to go back, and now we're editing the entire theme. So Global, Colors, and now as you can see, this is the main color, the blue. I can edit that by clicking it and then click this icon here, and that will expose this color editor, and I can input my color code F15 15A24, and there we go. And of course, you can change all these other colors as you please, but I just want to leave mine as that, the way it looks. So publish that. Let's close that. And now there we go. So the colors are now consistent with my brand colors. And so those are the only two things I wanted to show you. I figured maybe you might get to this point and get stuck wondering how to proceed from there. So now you know. I'll let you go back to the rest of the lessons. See you soon. So now we're done with the layout and addition of content to the website. it's time to make it responsive on tablets and smartphones. But before we do that, let's have a look at how the website looks on those devices by using the browser tools. So let's go ahead and bring up the Google DevTools by hitting Ctrl+Shift+I. And even if you're using Firefox, Ctrl+Shift+I will still do the same, or Ctrl+I if I'm not wrong. So now that we're here, let's click this icon here, responsive mode icon. So by clicking it, we're now mimicking different mobile devices. If we click this drop down menu, we have different types of phones and tablets, and we can see how the website looks on those devices. So right now we're viewing it as a Samsung Galaxy 8, and this is how the website looks. It doesn't look very appealing. Some of the parts look responsive and well centered, while others, like the hero section, looks completely off. If we click the menu, let's go inside my courses and have a look at the courses page. And this is how the courses page looks. The courses themselves are very well aligned thanks to Tutor LMS, but the rest of the parts need some fine-tuning. So now that we've seen how it looks, let's exit from here. So we'll be back to this simulator as we continue making it responsive. So I'll first of all toggle that and then exit from this part, go back in here, exit to dashboard. Let's leave that at the dashboard. And now let's go back to the front end. Let's start with the header, because the header is not responsive currently. So I'll hover over here and say header. And now let's make the header responsive. So going down here, let's click this responsive mode icon. That will bring up this bar. And now we can click the tablet mode and see how it looks. As you can see, on tablet mode, the logo is off screen. So let's go ahead and select this column, and under layout, let's give it 50% and click enter. For this other, let's give it 50% and say enter. And now you will notice that nothing is happening. Depending on your screen size, your entire screen size, typically there is a small bug in Elementor that requires us to expand this simulator just a little bit for the effects to be visible to us. So if we drag this a little bit, now you see the effects we wanted. That's a small bug in Elementor. I've never really known how else to solve that problem. So if you notice you've made some changes to the two columns and nothing has moved, just expand this simulator just a little bit, and that's that. So this is occupying 50% and this 50%, and that's how we want it. But this logo is still going off edge. So let's select the logo element, go inside advanced, and notice we still have that -38 applied to it. So if we break that, we've reset it on tablet mode, as you can see on this icon here. If we switch back to desktop mode, as you can see on desktop mode, the -38 is still active. If we switch to tablet mode, it's at 0, so it behaves according to the screen you're viewing it on. So look at this once again. This has gone back here. So to see a true reflection of what we have, let's expand this a little bit, and now that's what we have. To bring this in a little bit, let's select it by clicking that edit icon. Let's go to advanced, and this is still applied. If we switch to desktop mode, it had the -36. If we switch to tablet mode, let's reset it. Expand this a bit. Let's reset it by clicking that to change it to the nav menu, and then reset it like that. In fact, let's move it in further up to that point. Let's go inside this side advanced, let's break that, and then on the left let's increase it a bit. On the top, on the left let's increase it further to align it properly to the logo, like that. And for the social icons, advanced, let's break that. The right, let's increase that. For the top, up to that point, update that. Let's preview the changes. Awesome. So to view the changes, we need to switch back to the dev tools, Control-Shift-I, and now let's select this responsive mode simulator and let's switch to iPad Air. That's a tablet. That's how it looks. Let's increase this to 100%, or let's go to 75%. And now that's how it looks on tablet. So what if we switch to mobile screens? Galaxy 8, that's how it looks on mobile screens. But this space seems to be bigger than this, so let's push it to the left a little bit. You can use the up and down keyboard buttons to align it. Let's select this and do the same. Up to that point. And just in case you don't want these two columns to be visible on mobile screens, you can select the column that's holding, for example, this column. Select it and then go to responsive, hide on tablets and mobile screens. Let's do the same here. Responsive, hide on tablet and mobile. Update that and let's see what we have on our simulator. Let's preview the changes. And now they're not visible. So I think this looks much better than having those. But when we switch to desktop mode, let's toggle this and expand this. On desktop mode, it's visible, but when we switch to a tablet size screen, it disappears just like that. So that's another way to look at it. So one more thing before we conclude with the header. Let's change the colors of the menu. So selecting the nav menu element, this changes to nav menu. Now let's go inside style. Let's go to hamburger style. And now as you can see, the color is blue. Let's change that to F15A24. And on hover, it can remain as white. Or if you want to change it, you can change it here. So let's say 4040. Just like that. And for the hamburger icon color, we can change that to white. That white. The hamburger icon meaning the lines inside this solid. And now when we expand the menu, click that. Now we've expanded the menu. We might want to add maybe the logo that will show up on mobile screens when you expand the menu. So let's go back in here, scroll upwards, and content, mobile menu settings. We can select the logo that we want to use on that area. So scrolling downwards and load more because we have many images. Let's select the logo and now it's showing up. If we click that, now it's showing up on this menu. I think I like the colors we already have here. I think I like the way it looks. So let's update that. And while we're still here, let's switch to tablet mode. Let's collapse that by clicking anywhere in here. Let's expand that, and let's expand the menu and see how it looks. It still looks awesome. So that's that. And basically, so let's preview the changes in the front end. Let's toggle this. That's how our menu looks. Let's switch to tablet, AirPad Air. And that's it. So basically now our header is responsive to the different devices. The next thing we want to do is make the rest of the page responsive to different screen sizes. So let's see how to do that in the next lesson. I'll see you shortly. And we're back. So now we've already worked on the header. It's time to work on the rest of the body. So going back in here, we can't work on the body on this part because this is the header editor. So what we need to do is exit to the dashboard, go inside pages, home, and edit with Elementor. All right, so here we are. Let me just drag this a bit, and let's switch to responsive mode. And let's switch to tablet mode. So what I need to do is drag this a little bit. All right, so we're good. And now the first thing I want to do is select this column. And let's go to advanced, break that margin there. And now we've reset it on tablet mode. And now we can push it in maybe by 20, like that. And now you'll notice the buttons here are misbehaving. So what I like doing about these columns on tablet mode is making them full width. So I want to make this column 100% and this image column 100%. So I'll just, while this is still selected, go to layout, 100%. And I've noticed we have a heading here that we're not actually using. It doesn't contain anything, so if I delete that, now that's gone. This is the heading we want to deal with. I hadn't noticed that, but just get rid of it. So now that we have this, let's go inside style. Let's align it to the middle, like that. The buttons seem okay. The next thing we want to do is select the image column. And let's give it 100% width, just like that. And now the image seems to be towards the right. So selecting the image itself, let's put it in the middle. That doesn't affect it. Let's go to advanced and break that. And now it's in the middle. And what we want to do is have the image come before the text block. So because these two columns are inside this section, and just to prove that to you, we have this section that has these two columns. We want, when we're in tablet mode and mobile screens, this image to come before the text block. So we can do that by going inside while this section is selected. Let's go inside advanced, responsive, and reverse tablet. Reverse columns tablet. So like that. And let's update it. And of course, the reason you can't see the changes is because we still need to expand this a bit, like that. All right, the next thing we want to do is have a look at this. The rest of the content seems to be well aligned. That's how that looks. But this seems to be pushed off the edge. So let's do something about that. Let's reduce the size. So selecting this and going inside style, let's go to the content. Let's go to the content, typography. Let's reduce the size like that. Let's also reduce the size of the title. That's the line height. Size like that. Then let's select it, then right click, copy, select this, right click, paste style, select this, right click, paste style. And now I think it's much better. And now looking at this column, let's select this column, go to advanced and break that. Now it's not properly aligned. Let's reduce the top margin using the up and down arrows, using the up and down keyboard keys. Let's also reduce the left margin to push these off the edge up to that point. Update that, and now that looks much better. Let's remove that. I don't even know what that is. Let's select this column, go inside advanced, break that margin, and then for the left margin, let's increase that, maybe up to that point. You can also make them 100% width, just like we did with these if you want. I'll just leave them like that. Let's do the same here. Break that, and then let's increase the left border. Same here, select that, advanced, break that, increase the right margin like that. Let's select this column, make it 100%. Select this heading. Let's align it to the center. It's already aligned to the center. Advanced. So this heading seems to be problematic. Let's update that and see the changes before we do something about this. Let's preview the changes here. All right, so scrolling downwards, this doesn't seem to be aligned properly in the middle. So what I want to do is get rid of this, and by deleting any element, no matter what mode you're in, desktop, tablet or smartphone, if you delete any element, it's gone on all different modes. So what we're doing is replacing this with a different header. So let's go in here, type heading. Let's drop it in there, and let's say what our clients say. And then align it in the middle, just like that. I don't know why this template was created like that, but it doesn't look good. But now it's much better. So what we need to do is select, okay, it's a bit tricky now to select it. Let's go inside desktop mode, select this. It's a bit tricky to select, but we can always use the navigator to select it. So remember how we use that. But now that I've selected it, I want to put it in the center. Style F15A24. Typography, I want to make it 900 in font weight, and then increase the size up to that point. Then I might want to push this inner section downwards a bit. So just like that. And now going inside tablet mode, it's now properly in the middle. Let's drag that a bit. Now it's properly centered. but we might need to push it downwards a bit. Selecting that. Advanced, break that at the top using the up button on your keyboard, just like that. The testimonials look good on tablet, so we'll leave them like that. We can increase the margin on this. Now we can increase the margin on this and this, just like we've done with the rest. And another quicker way to do that is to increase the padding on the section that's holding them. Padding is the space between the edge and where the content starts. So if we go and select this edge, go inside advanced padding, if we break that, on the left we can give it a 20 margin, and on the right and then on the left 20, and that pushes the content inward. For the top we can also give it 20 like that. Update. We can do the same here on this section. So let's go inside advanced. Let's break that. Let's give it a top margin of maybe 50. Right, 20. On the left it already looks good. On the bottom it already looks good, but let's give it, because it's the very last item here, let's give it maybe 90 or 100 so we can space it from the footer. So 90. Update that, and then let's preview the changes. Let's preview that. And now scrolling downwards, there we go. Nice spacing here of 90 margin. So now let's go back and switch to mobile screens and optimize it very quickly on mobile screens. So this top part already looks good, but we can do something about it. I want to select this column, go inside advanced and break that. So now it looks good. I'll select this column as well, advanced, and it looks good. So that's that. But remember, we want to bring the image before the text block, but you can leave it like that if you want it like that. So let's go inside this section that's holding the two blocks. Let's go inside responsive, reverse columns, just like that. Update. And as we update, let's move on to the next part. I want to select this section that's holding this content. Advanced. Let's break the padding like that. And I want to reduce the margin at the top. So selecting in there, and because you can't see the up and down arrows, I'll use the up and down keys on my keyboard. The down key to reduce the margin on mobile phones. That looks good. Next, let's select this heading. This is an icon box. Yep, that's an icon box. Let's select that. And for style, it has a lot of settings applied to it, so let's remove them just like that. Let's see if we can push it to the center. So settings, content alignment, put it in the center under settings. And now that that's done, select that, right click, copy, select that, right click, paste style. Alright, it seems it's not aligned to the center, so let's go back under content settings, center, select that, paste style, settings, center. And what we want to do is select the column, advanced, margin top, let's give it a 20. Advanced margin, advanced 20, just like that. And right here we have this button that we haven't touched. I don't really think we need it, so let's remove that. That's how it looks so far. We have this image. Selecting this image, let's put it in the middle, and as you can see, nothing happens. So it seems we have some padding like that. Select that, go inside style, align center, just like that. Here we have these three. I think we can leave them where they are. Select this section, go in here, remove the padding settings. I think right there we're good. So let's select this column, remove the margin, and there we go. But now we need to select this again. And let's align it in the middle, in the center. So general, align to the center like that. And if you want to move it inwards a little bit, we can just select the section that's holding everything and give it a left margin, left padding of 20 and right margin of 20. We can also reverse this section because it seems to have an image. So let's bring the image before the text content. While this section is selected, let's go to advanced, responsive, reverse on mobile screens, just like that. Select this. Let's go inside style, center. Select this as well, style, center. I think this already looks good. It's well centered and aligned. We can put this in the center as well. For this button, we can also push it to the center. Push this to the center, nothing happens. It seems the section itself has some right margin or padding. So select the section. Yeah, the section has some margin like that. We can give it a top padding of 50, but everything is now centered. Select that, style, center. Let's update that. And let's preview the changes. Now we're viewing it on Samsung Galaxy 8. Let's preview it on a different phone, maybe Pixel 5. Alright, so that's how it looks on a Pixel 5. Scrolling downwards. Just like that. And basically, as you already know, this is just a guide. You have to really be meticulous about how you're doing every single thing we're doing. So what I'm doing is providing a guide on how to do the different things you might want to do to create your page. So take some time and really refine every single detail on the page. Make sure everything is properly aligned. And now that the main body content looks good on the different device sizes, it's time to make the footer responsive as well before we wrap things up. So I'll see you in the next lesson. And welcome back. Time to make the footer responsive just like we did with the header. And without wasting any more time, let's jump right here. And of course, we're done with the main body content. So let's exit to the dashboard. And let's go right here to the front end, toggle that, close that, and then hover over edit with Elementor and click footer so we can switch to the footer editor. And here we are. So now let's immediately go inside the responsive mode and let's go to tablet mode. Let's expand this a little bit to see a true reflection of what we have, and that's how it looks. So first of all, what I want to do is select the section holding everything, go inside advanced, break this padding, and then for the top padding, let's give it maybe 50. For the right, let's give it a 20. For the bottom, let's leave it at 0. Then a 20 on the right. So now everything is properly spaced out from the edges. The next thing we want to do is give this 100% width. So let's say, for example, select this column and let's give it 100%, just like that. Select this heading, put it in the middle, select that, style, let's put it in the center as well. Select this, go to style, where do we put it in the center? All right, so this is the form that comes by default with this template. I think we have to manually put it in the center. Let's see. Yep, I think we need to manually put it in the center. So let's go inside advanced. For the margin, left, let's try something like 50. Oh, that's 500. What about 100? So 100 seems to put it on the center. Let's try 120. Yep, right there. Let's update that. All right, let's preview the changes. Control-Shift-I to switch to mobile screens. And then let's toggle that. Responsive design. Let's switch to a tablet, iPad Air. All right, so now it seems we need to add a margin for the right side as well, because right here we have 120. Let's give it a 120 as well on the right. Let's update that and preview the changes. So right here in the editor, it seems misaligned, but let's see what we have when we use the simulator. All right, it's refreshing. All right, so that's okay. So let's increase the spacing between these two. So I'll select this section holding this, advanced, we'll go to here, break that link, and then increase the margin by hitting the up arrow on my keyboard. So update that. And now let's switch to smartphones. That's how it looks on smartphones. I want to push everything to the center, so I'll begin by selecting the logo. Select center. Select the text editor, style, center. These icons here, let's put them in the center. Let's select these two. Because they're inside an inner section, I want to give them 50% width. So 50, and this will occupy 50 as well. So now that's how they look on mobile screens. I don't really like this MailChimp form. Of course, when you learn how to build forms and place them using shortcodes by taking any of the other classes I recommended, you will have better forms than this. This is not really responding to the edits we're trying to make, so I'll just leave it like that. And this dark area looks okay. So let's update that and preview the changes. Let's preview the changes. I want to switch to Pixel 5, and that's how the photo looks on a Pixel 5. So remember to replace this form with the form you will have learned how to create using the Forminator plugin, which is a very awesome form plugin. All right, so that just about wraps up everything. But before we leave, I have a few final thoughts. So let's talk in the next lesson. I'll see you shortly.